Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another Brummet's YouTube video. Here, we're going to be sharing some more answers to your questions. Thank you, everyone, for reaching out to us on social networking site message centers. And we really appreciate that. You can also reach out to us just simply by visiting our main website and clicking the contact information from there. In order to find all of the most relevant social networking sites, our main website and so forth, just look in the description of each and every video. There's a website listed there. It's a bio link service. So when you click on that, it takes you to a list of the most relevant places that you can find us online for this audience here on this YouTube channel. So I hope that you take the time to browse through all of the different links that we have made available through that service for you to enjoy. Also, feel free to reach out to us anytime. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel as well for those of you who are new to us. And of course, if you're any of the videos that you've enjoyed, if you've found them inspiring in some way, please do like them. It does make a big difference for us in regards to the algorithms and whether all those data collection services decide whether our videos are relevant or not for people that are doing searches online. So your support in that way really does make a difference. We really do appreciate that. Here today, we're going to be answering a question from Jan from England, who asks, how do we juggle the promotional aspects with the actual writing? Okay, so yes, marketing eats up a great deal of time, and as does writing. And in between that, writers are constantly learning new skills. You're taking courses, you're studying how to run a new program, how to operate a new social networking site in a different way or an unusual way, or there's so many things that we're learning all the time. Technology is constantly changing. How people respond to marketing is constantly changing. And so we're evolving all the time to try to keep up with the times, and also as an individual trying to broaden our skill base so that we can do more ourselves. So you're right, Jan from England. Yes, it is hugely time consuming, the marketing and the learning and the researching and the skill development. So when do we get the writing in there? That's a good question. So yeah, being a writer, again, it also means you're self-employed. And so when you're self-employed, that means that you're not just doing the marketing and the promotional activities, but you're also doing the record keeping. You're worried about making sure that you have all of the information for your accountant. You're creating content on a variety of different services, whether it's your social networking or social media. You're constantly busy, promotional materials and so forth. So that is writing, but is it pleasurable writing? Because marketing involves a heck of a lot of writing. For myself, our 2 blogs, our promotional materials, running this YouTube channel, creating content for our social networking sites on a daily basis, we're constantly generating written material. Is it written for joy, with joy, or with purpose? Yes, all the time, or we wouldn't do it. So yes, we're getting in writing all the time. As far as like creating manuscripts, writing poetry, any of that, okay, for me, poetry, for instance, is something that's very spur of the moment. When I'm hit by the poetry bug, it hits me really hard. I'm racing for the pen or the keyboard or a scrap of paper, and I'm scribbling down this flood of flowing words before it escapes my mind and I forget them, and then I'll tweak them from there. So for me, those poems, they just come to me, and I don't sit down and say, I'm going to write a poem based on some assignment and start writing a poem about an apple or something like that. That's not something that I have done yet. Mine are very, very inspired by the moment, by something I have learned or heard or felt at that very moment. So for those, they get written whenever they come into my mind, and it's not a frequent thing. It's not like I'm not coming up with new poems or lines or ideas for poems every day. This is something that comes to me, once a month, once every 4 months. Something will just hit me so hard, and I'll go running for the pen, and I just have to purge what I'm feeling and thinking in the flowing, what's flowing in my mind. When it comes to writing articles, most of the time I'm writing them as an assignment. I've been assigned it, or from like a media outlet, or I'm entering a contest, or I'm using those articles for promotional purposes. I'm getting them published, and my promotions come in through the bylines. So there's a variety of way that I use articles in that regards. I haven't done a huge amount of freelance work as of late, although in the past I survived off of freelance work for many, many years. It's a very lucrative aspect of writing. And for that, I find myself juggling articles all the time. So I'll be writing articles and submitting articles every single day when it comes to freelance work. That's why I haven't been doing it as of late. We've had several new releases, book releases, product releases, service releases that I've been working with, that I just have been eating up my schedule, and I haven't had a chance to do more freelance work. It's not something that I have turned my back on. It's just something I've had to let go for now. When it comes to books, writing actual books, I will schedule in the time. So right now, right this moment, I'm actually working on scheduling both our blog content and our YouTube content to the point where I am going to be about 4 to 6 months in advance of scheduled content. So right now, for instance, I'm working on September's blog post for the Brummet's Conscious blog, and it is March 23rd right now. So I'm doing that on purpose because I'm trying to clear my schedule up this summer so I can work on the manuscript that's in the back burner waiting for me to have the free time in my schedule to put into that project. So I really have to schedule in the time when it comes to books, in particular how-to books. When it comes to our short story collection, that's a little bit different. That's more like a poetry book. It has a slightly different approach. But when you're doing a nonfiction book, or say maybe a novel, the approach in our situation comes from, we've got to clear our schedule and focus our energies on this particular project, and take a break, go do something, catch up on other things, clear the schedule, and come back and focus again. So I really clear the schedule and make room for writing when it comes to creating book manuscripts. I don't know, there's so many different aspects to our various types of writing that it's difficult to answer that question in general. So I tried to cover some of the different aspects. I hope that answers your question, Jan. I think really the thing is to just be committed when it comes to just, making time for writing. You have to just pick a day in your schedule or an afternoon in your schedule, and you have to say, this is the time in the day that I'm going to put towards writing. And even if you don't have that creative, motivated feeling on that moment at that time to do writing, because sometimes our minds just aren't caught up with our schedule. They just, our mind isn't ready to write anyway. Write about anything. Write about like a journal, or just start writing about what you're seeing and smelling. And pretty soon those writing juices will start flowing, and then you can start getting back into the actual business of writing the project at hand. Hopefully that helps you, Jan. Thank you very much for sending that question all the way from England to here in Canada. And now we're sharing it on our YouTube channel, hopefully helping other people as well. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us today.